Anybody knows that COVID is where one of the biggest industries that took a hit was the entertainment industry, radio as well. The loss of clients because funds just weren't coming in. The events which we get a lot of our sales from just weren't happening. We took a really big hit. But again, we held true to what our vision was of making sure that we are connecting the diaspora, making sure that persons in the diaspora know what's going on here in Jamaica, and making sure that Jamaica knows what's happening in the diaspora. Hence the word, the name of the radio station, the Bridge 99 FM. And I just want to share another Bible verse that's as COVID hit and we're in the thick of about to launch. We started to worry. We started to get just kind of antsy because now we've relocated, right? You relocated, took our team, brought our team down to Jamaica in somewhat of a new space for me. And we're now trying to launch a radio station in a landscape where there's so much different so many media houses. How are we going to be different? What's going to set us apart? How are we going to kind of disrupt the market? And this Bible verse came to me, and I'm going to share it with you. It's Isaiah 40. Worry is our inability or unwillingness to trust God. He is everlasting, never becoming tired or growing weary, while simultaneously depositing new strength in us. And when I found that, I was like, all right, we're doing this. The bridge is launching. We rechecked because we looked back at the vision that God put on Bobby's heart. We rebounded. We moved here. We sat down. We had the plans. It looked bleak, but we said, you know what? We're going to restore the faith in ourselves, which God blessed us with, and then in those out in the diaspora and here locally, because radio, well, I know a lot of people think, oh, radio's dead, nobody's listening to radio, but no, radio's evolving, which is exactly what we have had to do with the bridge, because we are not just audio, we're also visual. That's one of our value propositions. You can watch everything that happens, whether you're listening or watching from wherever, to by downloading our app. Everything that we do is recorded. Everything that we do is put out, and in real time. So if you are in Canada and you're joining us via the global connection from Flow 98.7, you are able to see into Canada. You're able to see into the studios. You're able to see into our studios here in Jamaica. You're also able to see whenever we globally connect with New York or with England. When we're talking about rechecking, rebound, restore, right? The word pivot was a big word for when COVID hit. How is it that you pivot when you are faced with certain challenges? That's the question, right? And that was the biggest question that we had to ask ourselves. How do we pivot? We came down here to do so many different things, not just radio. We also do TV. We shot over 300 shows. 300 shows, and right when we were about to launch, again, COVID hit and kind of threw us off our game. But we had to rely or be mindful of that Bible verse that I just read, that worry, that inability, that God is depositing new strength in us all the time, and we can do all things through Him who strengthens us, which is so very important. And as we navigate what is happening now, as we kind of leave COVID behind and the world is opening up and all these new things, what I have learned with radio, especially here in Jamaica, while there is so much media houses out there, you just carve out your path, identify who your listeners are, figure out what their likes are, what their dislikes are, figure out what works for you, figure out what your right talents are, and you attack in that way. And is it going to be easy? No, nothing is. There is no business out there, no business owner. I'm not sure if there are any entrepreneurs here now, but there are no business owners that I know is going to say, oh yeah, man, I have had the easiest ride. You're going to go through valleys, but it is in those valleys that you're going to find your strength. That's where you're going to armor up to make it to the mountaintop. So as we talk about recheck, rebound, and restore, I encourage you guys, if it is that radio is what your desire is, what your passion is, do your research. Look at what I love about Jamaica is that there are a plethora of media houses that persons that are interested in can gauge from, can learn from, can possibly intern at, and learn the craft. As much as I did not go to school. I wasn't formally trained to do radio. It was really more practical, hands-on that got me to where I am today. Ensure to get into, and I love what the DCS is doing and how you guys are actively pushing out communication, and I see the backdrop, and even how you guys see it. You guys are already voice training and all that stuff. Kudos to you guys. And just reach out to all of these media persons. Ensure that you are knocking on persons' door, getting mentorship. Mentorship is so very important as we talk about in anything that we do, but especially in radio, to get the insights from persons who would have done whatever it is that you're looking to do, whether it is radio broadcaster, whether it's sports, tech, on the tech side, on the audio, whatever it is. Get the insight, and I'm sure there are so much people out there that are willing to help you all. Now, I felt like me talk holy. So Joni, what I would love is if you could just play the video so that so persons can see what it is that we have done over the past 30 years and the year and a half that we've been here in Jamaica. And then I'm going to open the floor to anybody that has any questions or that wants any further information.
CGN Media, your bridge to the future.
What up, New York? What up, Jam Jam?
Connecting the Caribbean and the diaspora. Culture, business, health, politics, generating wealth.
Bringing the magic, music, and the movement of the Caribbean to the world via our flagship Bridge 99 FM radio brand, or pioneer brand Irie Jam Radio, and our partners Flow 98.7 in Canada and the Beat 103 in the UK. Let's be clear. When we broadcast in Jamaica, you hear us real time, right now, wherever you are, that we have a radio partner. And this convergence of global Caribbean communication provides unique cultural and business opportunities across territories.
Here is a solution to an age-old problem of no access to the massive resources of the diaspora. It's fixed.
We've built your bridge to the future. Bridge 99 FM is licensed in Jamaica to serve the world. Created from the 30-year media legacy of Irie Jam Radio in New York, with over 2 million engaged listeners in the tri-state area and simulcasting daily with terrestrial partners, and over 2 million engaged and over 10 million potential listeners and viewers, all in premier HD format, which is also streaming worldwide. Imagine your advertising dollar reaching your target beyond borders in a single rotation. The future of advertising to the diaspora and Caribbean markets resides only on the bridge. This strategic diaspora connecting journey through innovation has been deliberate. Our pioneer brand, Irie Jam Media, was founded in New York in 1993 by the visionary Bobby Clarke, along with Milford Edwards and Louis Grant. Irie Jam Radio, which now commands the highest listenership of any Caribbean radio station along the U.S. Eastern Seaboard, began as a radio simulcast between New York and Jamaica, facilitated through popular Jamaican radio station Irie FM.
Irie Jam's esteemed position as the premier electronic platform into the Caribbean community allowed for the critical formation of unique, mutually beneficial alliances with an array of the most prestigious sponsors and advertisers operating in the North American marketplace.
Now, these relationships created the opportunity for one of IRIJAM Media Group's most popular and profitable endeavors to date, the world of live promotion.
Starting with the remarkable 15-year run of the legendary IRI Jamboree, the IRIJAM Media Group has continued to define excellence in the marketing and production of live events, shows, and festivals, including the Rockabessa Festival.
IRIJAM has also been closely associated with such major New York events as the Adidas Grand Prix track meet, at which 9-time Olympic gold medalist Usain Bolt broke his very first world record, as well as the hugely popular West Indian Labor Day Parade. At its 25-year silver anniversary, the IRIJAM Media Group launched its boldest and most exciting innovation of that time.
The Caribbean Global Network, or CGN, comprising a variety of channels bringing digital visual entertainment to millions of viewers across the world.
CGN, on this, its Pearl anniversary, and standing proudly on 30 years of showcasing, enhancing, and preserving the culture of Jamaica and the Caribbean, celebrates the birth of the Bridge 99 FM. Its 24-hour per day, 7-day per week terrestrial radio station, physically based in capital city Kingston and purposed to simulcast to all diaspora markets across the globe.
In less than a year, Bridge 99 has already connected multiple industries, including private sector, public sector, entertainment sector, through our launch at the AC Hotel.
Our diaspora audiences were live with us in New York for the grand opening of Derriman Trading U.S. multi-million-dollar acquisition of Food Savers in Brooklyn, in Florida for Circle Fest with the Bad Boys Band in a Circle, in Dubai for Jamaica Day at World Expo 22, Jamaica Stock Exchange 17th Regional Investments and Capital Market Conference, Carifta 22, Reggae Sumfest Launch 22, Rodney Bounty Killer Price's 50th birthday, and TEF Business Development for SMEs. We're partnering with local and global diaspora brands, specifically targeting and reaching global diaspora markets. This is the first of its kind and boldest move to curating Caribbean content and wealth strategy.
In 2023, we roll out our streaming platform, already stocked with over 300 episodes of compelling Caribbean content. Miniseries, documentaries, short and full-length films will follow as we create original Caribbean-centric offerings and team with local and diasporic talent.
The allure of the sand, sea, and sun of the Caribbean hemisphere strategically expanded to the building of sound stages, movie studios, and a thriving creative industry employing thousands and impacting the world.
We're building your bridge to the future. Let's discuss your getting on it.
Thank you, Joni. So yeah, that's us in a nutshell. That's us in a compact nutshell. So I'm going to open the floor to anybody that has any questions, wants to know anything further, and yeah.
I'm not sure if you mentioned this, so forgive me if you already did, but was it a culture shock having to come to Jamaica? You grew up with Caribbean heritage, but was it still a culture shock having to come to Jamaica to do Bridge FM and start this new thing?
It was from a business aspect. Doing business in Jamaica has really opened my eyes to the difference in the culture. You know, it just we're in the islands. So that mindset is there. Coming from New York, which is the most aggressive state within the United States. So we are really kind of what they say about you, like if you're walking in the city and you're walking too slow, we are gonna push you down. We are walking with a mean mug all the time. That's just who we are, you know. So coming here, and even with doing business over there, it doesn't take long to get things done. We just kind of get things done. Here, I have had to take a patience pill. Yes, I've had to kind of shift. We've had to recheck, rebound, and restore some things with as far as our mental and our thought process and how we're going to even attack being business owners in Jamaica. So yeah, there definitely was a shock, to say the least, for sure.
The floor is open to anybody else who may have any questions. And Syntyché did say you're not limited to just radio questions. She says she's a fashionista, and I concur. She's a fashionista. So if you have fashion questions, if you have questions about her philanthropic efforts, you can go ahead and ask about those as well.
Yeah. Oh, Joni, let me ask you, what is it that you are aiming to do? What are your aspirations?
I always grew up being somebody who does a little bit of everything, but always leaning towards creativity. So I love the arts. I grew up always just jokingly doing voiceovers. Whenever I'd get that text message from Digicel, I'd read it like the people on TV or on radio. And that was always my thing. And then reading newspapers, reading in a news voice. So I love doing voice acting and voiceovers, which is actually how I decided maybe radio is where I want to be. But then I also love design, not necessarily fashion design, but I do love fashion, but interior design and that sort of thing. So I'm currently doing a project at home with interior design and hoping that I can document that journey. And if it takes off, maybe I'll do interior design as a side gig.
I love that. Absolutely love that. And there's no one size fits all. Growing up in my day, my parents would have taught me that I have to go to college, I have to become either a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, get married, get the house, and that was going to be it. So, here I am like, okay, and looking on for what they did. They worked really hard being immigrants. But I quickly realized that no, that was never going to be my path. I wasn't going to go to school, get the formal education. That just wasn't for me. So if it is that, you have this desire to do voiceovers and the interior, you can. Because there's that traditional way of thinking, those traditional jobs, we're in a world where there's a lot of people are moving into entrepreneurship and more non-traditional jobs. So pursue whatever it is, go after whatever it is that your heart desires. And if your heart no longer desires it and it no longer serves you, move on.
I think I'm working on that too. I forgot to mention, it started off as a hobby, volunteering in the newsroom at NCU-FM, NCU Media Group, but now it has become a real thing. I'm now in charge of the NCU-FM newsroom, so I'm excited to see where that journey takes me.
See, yes, I love that. So I'm seeing a lot of pictures. I'm not seeing a lot of faces. Nobody don't want to talk to me. It's just me and Joni Lee that's gonna have a conversation. I'm fine with that too, because I'm sure we have a lot to talk about. But there must be something. How do you create a balance? This word balance seems to come up. I don't know. That's the honest. And is there such thing as balance? I can't say that there is. You just have to know what your limits are, know how far you can push yourself, know how far you want to go, and pursue that. But also listen to your body, listen to your mental, your emotional, your physical, channel what makes you feel good. I don't know that I can create a balance. I'm telling you, like, I'm flying out tonight. I have a million, the daughter to go pick up, the dog to go drop off. I have to get to the office to pay bills. I'm not sure that there is such thing as balance, but I know what my limits are. I also know what my goals and my aims are. So I just make sure to listen to what my body's telling me, to what the downloads that God sends, because, ooh, child, does he send me cues. He says, Syntyché, sit it down. Syntyché, rest. He gives me the cues. So I just lean into what is happening around me. And if I can't do it, it just doesn't get done. Or we save it for another day. The world's gonna be fine. Trust. But good question.
I do have another question. We spoke about rebounding, and you mentioned in your presentation, you were talking about COVID-19 and how things have changed. And you also mentioned that radio is beyond just the audio, it's also the digital aspects that you do as well. What would you say, or how do you respond to people who just say, hey, that's just TV, or that's just this other media platform like social media, it's not radio. Radio is dead.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's education, or lack thereof. We with even with look at social media. For me, I grew up before there was Instagram. I mean, I did not want Instagram, but you guys, the younger generation, that's all you know, right? But and I had to be educated around that to know that, all right, this is actually something that's here to stay. It makes you money and all these different things. So it really is education. It's educating the masses that, all right, this is the way to go, and it is the lines. Let's say maybe even it's interchangeable. Radio, TV, the podcasting, and all that stuff, because with Chasing Purpose, while it is on radio, I also have it on YouTube and on streaming podcast services. So it is now interchangeable and it's fluid, right? And I love that radio is, those that say radio is dead, again, radio's evolving, much as all of us are. We're evolving. We're not stagnant in one thing, and we shouldn't be. We should always be growing. We should always be learning. In 10 years, you never know where radio is going to be. At no point did anybody even think that terrestrial radio would turn into visual radio, or that we'd have the ability to be in Jamaica and hear what's happening in Canada live or wherever in the world. So it's all about just kind of staying ahead and knowing what the trends are, forecasting and leaning into the new. A lot of people don't lean into new, and the ships leaves them.
I have a question. I don't know if I can go ahead.
Hi, Laurie. I like that name. I like the way you spell it.
Yes,
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So just a little introduction. I'm sorry I can't be on camera right now. It would be nice if I could. But I am an instructor at DCS. So just letting you know who you're speaking to, or who is speaking to you. So I earlier heard you speak about the concept of the bridge as kind of linking Jamaica and the diaspora.
Correct.
And it's good to think about other audiences. It's not just a local audience for content and so on. What I want to know is, if we want to do something that reaches out to expats, Jamaicans abroad and so on, what does the diaspora really want from your experience? What kind of content? What do they tune into?
So for our listeners, nostalgia plays a big part. So really, they clamor for anything home. They clamor for anything that they left here and they can't find there. So music will always be a big thing. Arts artists, our lifestyle, what our culture is. They're looking for, and they're also looking to see what the youth are doing, right? What's new that's coming out of Jamaica, what's new that's coming out of the Caribbean. So my advice would be to create the content that you want to create, and you will find your audience, whether it be here or in the diaspora. Create the content that feels good for you, and you'll find your audience.
Thank you.
Sure.
Akelia?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Hi, Akelia. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. I didn't have a question. I
Oh,
don't think so. Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Lovely to have met you.
Okay.
I do want to see, I see a face on the screen. I do want to give kudos to and acknowledge Judith Bodley, who is a stalwart here in media in Jamaica and has been instrumental in the birth of the bridge and helping us to kind of ensure that we are getting our local messaging out. I do want to hail her up because she's a big deal. Hi, Jude. It can't be just me and Johnny that's gonna talk today, guys. Come on, ask me questions, let me. And I know it's kind of, it's, you know, we get shy on these things, but this is what you guys are here for. You signed up for this, and DCS has been quite amazing in putting on these symposiums. So let's talk. Where do you think radio is going? Do you believe that radio is dead, or do you believe that it's evolving? And what are you going to bring to the table of radio?
Me again.
Hi, me.
I don't think radio is dead at all. When I'm teaching, you know, we have to talk about the different types of media. And a death sentence has been declared on several radio. When TV emerged, radio was supposed to die a quick death. Newspapers are supposed to be on their last as well, but they continue, you know. They aren't just dying out. Radio doesn't have a choice. It has to evolve because the space is so different now. But the different media, I think, are doing really well at being creative and finding new ways of being relevant. You know, everything is interconnected now. All of these points have been made. You know, you can't just do radio alone. You have to be on social media. You have to. A question that came up to me is, as you settle and become comfortable in the radio space, and I mean, you don't have to give away your secrets or plans, but as you become comfortable in the radio space, do you look and say, well, maybe I can branch off into a larger focus on social media or TV or YouTube, or how do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We have to meet our audience where they are as much as we want them to find us. So, you know, there are certain programs that we will probably only do on a YouTube, or there are certain shows that, you know, we would shoot just for TV, or, you know, just air on radio. We too have to evolve with the times. We can't stay stuck in 93. We can't stay stuck in 2003. We're in 2023, and we have to, and in 2033, there's going to be a whole new host of different things that we will have to evolve in, not just business, but also personally. You know, we should constantly be growing, especially in the way that we are going. So yeah, we have to evolve. And we have so much personalities on the bridge, and they too have their outside things that they're doing and supporting them, you know. And we're also learning, us as management, we're also learning what our younger audience wants, or our younger listeners that we're trying to attract. We're learning how to and where to meet them. So it's all about evolution and growth.
Yes, awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
I want to share my own perspective as well. I think I've gotten this question a lot, you know, when people ask what you're studying in school and I say radio, and they're like, why radio? Because
Mm-hmm.
nobody really listens to the radio anymore. Radio is dying. I can always say that radio is timeless and radio will forever be that medium that you'll have no matter what happens. And I
Oh,
always use
absolutely.
the hurricane analogy because when hurricane come and your roof blows off and the house flood out, you're going to take the newspaper to sap up the water.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have electricity for
So you
TV,
want right.
and
Right.
you may not have internet to use social media, but you will still have your radio to listen to get your news updates and all of that. So I think radio will forever have its place. Of course, it has a lot more competition now, and I think that's fine because competition is what helps you to develop, to grow, and to branch off into other things. And of course, radio is doing that. Radio has found its way onto the internet. Radio has found its way into other platforms. So I think radio is fine.
Yeah, radio is fine. We as I said, we just need to adjust and evolve with the times and make sure to introduce the new things, right? You can't we should never in anything in life stay stuck in one place. There's so much that radio can do. Look, radio for us in New York, and we do have the hopes to do it here. While we do radio, we also do events, right? We host conferences. There's so much that we can do with radio. So to say that radio is dead is no, it's absolutely not. Radio's evolving, and we're evolving alongside with it. I see that Akelia has a question now. I'm excited to hear.
Hi, let me turn on my camera. Good afternoon, well, good morning. My question is, normally when you hear about persons in the media, are you hearing me?
I'm getting a little bit of feedback.
Hold on, Syntyché, you may have to mute your microphone.
Me mute? Okay, let me mute.
And then go ahead, Akelia. I think you turned off your mic.
Working
We're
now?
hearing you now, yeah.
Okay. Good morning. So my question is, normally when you hear persons on the radio or television, you normally think to yourself, oh, this is somebody that's popular, they've made a stance, they're known for being on TV or a social media platform as a personality. What would be your encouragement to persons who don't have that level of popularity, don't have that level of respect from persons, to make them understand that radio is for everyone and you can make a name for yourself even if you already haven't made a name as yet?
Simply, just do it. Just do it. Because the persons that are popular, they started somewhere too. Social media would have us believe that, we have to be at a certain number of followers or a certain amount of likes before we can put ourselves out there. That's not it. Do it, grow it. You'll find your audience, and before you find your audience, you also find your voice. Do it scared. Let me tell you guys, I started chasing purpose. I have no formal training in broadcasting. No diction training, none of that stuff. But when I moved here in 2019, I just had this tug and pull in my heart. God was saying, you have a medium, you have a great tool, you need to be doing more with it. And that's how Chasing Purpose was born. I did it scared. Look, when I log on, when I get into the studio, it comes on Wednesdays now, 10 to 12. I do it scared. I'm still nervous in the space. I'm still nervous when I open my mouth, hoping in that, I'm that the message hits somebody, that, I'm not leading anybody down the wrong path. I'm not popular, but I know I have a message, and I know I want to support, and I'm here to be of service. My entire purpose here on this earth is to be of service and to help persons and to impact them in a very profound way. And I'm doing it. But I'm doing it scared. I'm doing it, but I'm learning, I'm learning. I'm feeling my voice. Judith has been very instrumental also in that. But do it, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's broadcasting, whether it is running camera, whether it is technical, whether it's script writing, whatever it is that you want to do it. Don't wait till tomorrow either. Put the plan in place, write the vision, and do it, pursue it.
If I
Thank you
may
for that.
just
Thank you so
add,
much.
could I? I love that point you just made about just showing up as you, because authenticity is so attractive and
Yes,
real makes connections. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, and it builds trust. And it builds trust, which is what your audience, you know, that when as you're building your audience, they want to know that they can trust you. Look, it's more time when I go on Chasing Purpose, I'm tripping up my words. I'm even me when I watch it back, I'm cringing, but I know that I need to. It's all about strengthening that muscle, right? In anything you do. That's why you get up and if you're gonna be a basketball player, you get to practice. If you're doing track, you get to practice. If you're whatever it is, you're practicing at it. Strengthen your muscle. Don't stop. Don't get in your head. A lot of us hold ourselves back, ifing and butting and guessing and trying to figure out, well, what if I don't do it this way or what? No, do it. Just do it. I hope that answers your question, Marie.
Hi, it's Deborah K. McKenzie. I just wanted to add to what you just said because I was here thinking of a question to ask. And my real question was to you, how do I remove this fearfulness that I would have? Because even though I know radio is something that I want to do, I feel like, for me, it's like I want to be perfect. So I don't want to trip over the words. I don't want to be doing this several times. I mean, I get, like this now work out. Maybe it's not really my thing. So I love what you said is it's all about the growth and you just continue to practice and to be your authentic self and just going out and showing up as who you are, and you learn and then you just continue to do better after. So I love what you said because for me, I would live in my head a lot whenever I'm going to record. It's like I will, before recording, I will be here and I read the script so well, and as the moment I press record, every word where I know it's like it twists up in my mouth. I start getting nervous and I said, no, this not work. And then I do it over back. I will do it several times and I have to tell myself, like, you need not to rush. You just need to really be calm and just to be confident. You might not necessarily love your voice, but you have to get comfortable with your voice because when other persons hear you, they hear something totally different. And that is what I would have learned in my voice and diction class when my lecturer would have said to me, Deborah, you have a very comforting voice. And I'm like, Miss, I differ from that, but it is good to hear because I would have, always think that, oh, when persons hear me, they're hearing what I think I am hearing, and that's the opposite. So I really love what you said is just to try be confident, to try over again, if you make a mistake. And as you said, you are always nervous when you're in that position in the studio. And I'm saying
I know I have to do it.
yeah.
It's. I mean, and Deborah Casey, you said everything that you said. You whenever those thoughts get into your head, whatever, because the thoughts are gonna come. Say exactly what you just said to us. You have the answers enough. We all have what we need inside to move forward, whatever it is. It is, but sometimes we are our self-critic. We're harshest most on ourselves.
That is true. And I
Right?
think I am
But
on myself.
oh yeah, but we also need to arm ourselves with the tools to move away from that. So as soon as we're going down that road of why my voice don't sound good, or boy, maybe I should talk this way, or boy, no, quickly snatch yourself. And it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. But when you start to find yourself going down that road, quickly try to revert back to you can get this done. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Keep repeating that, and show up as who you are. Once you show up as who you are, over time, as I said, you'll strengthen the muscle and you'll be fine.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Michael, you wanted you said you wanted to try giving your answer.
All right. I could try. Sorry, I don't have like camera on and all of those things. I was just logged in. I was trying to be a supportive husband. But anyway, all right. So
oh, hi, husband. How
yes,
are you?
Good day, good day.
Hi.
All right. For me, when it comes to nerves, yes, I am a very outgoing person, as persons on campus would know. But when I tell persons that, okay, I'm going to MC a concert, or something like that. And when I tell persons that, I still get nervous right before stepping on the stage. When the person is doing this big introduction and I'm there thinking, wow, they're talking about me, I still get nervous right before I'm going on stage. And every time when I step on stage and I begin to work, I forget that I'm nervous. The nerves go away, but that took time. As you said, just kind of expose yourself to the same situation. The more you are hosting, it gets a little bit more natural. The more you are, the more you're in a situation, you get a little bit more, let me say, accustomed to the situation. So your flight or fight reaction, it's lessened, Imagine a soldier in war. The first time shots are firing by, he's very nervous. As years and years goes by, he's more calm in the very same situation because of experience. And sometimes we do get into our own heads. And you mentioned about mistakes, mispronouncing words, that sort of thing. For me, when I'm on radio, the listeners are very vicious, and they can be very vicious. So there is this thing that I've started. I remember I saw something akin to it. Conan used to do it when he was doing the Conan show, the Conan O'Brien show. He had this whole segment where he dared the listeners find a mistake in the show, because my show is perfect. You won't find a mistake. Obviously, it was a joke. And every time the listeners would send in, oh, you screwed up here, he would do a whole bit about why he didn't screw up. Even if it means going back and doing a historical thing as a joke to say, well, actually, you're saying this person was the first president. Here was a president before him that just wasn't popular. That sort of thing as a joke. But for me, when it comes to radio, I am open. I am human. I do make mistakes, and I am open to be corrected. And we do a whole thing about it. And even at times when I might mispronounce something wrong and somebody corrects me, and we discover it together on air, we go on Google, okay, so maybe in England it's pronounced like this, but in US it's pronounced like this. So, and I will learn together. So it's for me, I'm open to making mistakes. I'm open to correction, but I am able to make it fun, make the whole process fun. And the positive of it is I get people to listen intentionally now, so the whole purpose is achieved.
Great insight, Michael. And yes, all you said is so very true. I have worked with some of the biggest names in radio and some of the biggest names in music, in the entertainment industry. And 9 times out of 10, they will tell you that they still, to this day, no matter how long they've been in the business, there's a slight nervousness there before they are to perform. And if you lose that nervousness, then you have to check something, because then you maybe would have lost the passion then.
That's right.
So I welcome the nervousness. I actually lean into it, and I just keep going. And I'm big at making fun of myself. Okay.
That's right.
So if I slip up, so I go. I'm human. We all are, and we all make mistakes.
Okay, if there are no more questions.
Well, Chevrina says, what has been the most difficult obstacle for you? Was that the question? I'm not seeing all of it.
What has been the most difficult obstacle you've experienced in this industry, and how did you overcome it?
I work in the industry that is male dominated. So finding my voice as a female, that has been, I guess, that one of the hardest battles. And this is earlier on. Now I'm just kicking in the door, right? Because I found my voice. But before, just kind of finding myself in a very male dominated industry. I started in this industry when it wasn't me, took off, and everybody, everywhere I looked, we women, we were in a more supportive or administrative role. So you really had to kind of exude your executive presence in certain rooms. You had to create your own space within rooms, and so that was my biggest challenge coming up in the industry. And it took some fight. It wasn't easy. I'm talking about, oh God, I can give you stories from everything. Emotional abuse, physical, sexual abuse, all of it. But I had to stand my ground and thank God for the foundation in which my parents um afforded me. But that would have been the biggest obstacle for me. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, I have another question. Mine is more personal. What is it like having to work with your husband in media?
Wow, what a question. I absolutely love working with my husband. I actually like my husband. You love, you like, you love, hate. I actually like and love my husband. And I'm absolutely honored to have been on this journey with him. He has taught me a lot. So yeah, look, with any relationship, you're gonna have its ebbs and flows. We have and we actually live apart because I run the Jamaica office while he's in New York, and that has been a whole nother kettle of fish that I didn't sign up for, even knew was about to happen. But we found our groove, and we know what our strengths and our weaknesses are. Where I fall short, he backs me up, and it's the same, and he knows that I'm his biggest supporter. He's my biggest cheerleader, and we make it work. It's been quite a ride, but a fun one.
I love that.
Was that really a question for Michael?
I'm enjoying it too.
Okay,
The
good.
scope of work we do is a bit different.
Okay.
So we don't get to interact that much at work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Okay, if not, it's 11:34. So it's just about that time where we wrap up this breakout session. I do have some questions for my radio students. I hope you were listening. Question number 1. In what year did Bridge FM launch here in Jamaica? In what year? And the floor is open to anybody to answer, except Syntyché and Miss Bodley.
Let me see if I get it. 2020, 2021 or 2022? I think it's 2021. One out of the two.
It is one out of the two. All right, I'm seeing right here. It's 2021, and Syntyché would have come in July 20 to support her husband. All right. And what is the name of, we're going to call it the parent company of Bridge FM. What's the name of that bigger radio station? That Nicholas says Irie Jam.
The parent company of the radio station?
I said the parent company, and then I said no, the bigger radio station.
Okay, got it.
Irie Jam. Okay. Irie Jam, there we go.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of this one. There are 3 words that Syntyché uses to describe herself. And I think that might be the hardest question because that was at the very start of her bio. 3 words that she uses to describe herself. All right, so my husband is saying he knows fashionable is one, and that is true. So the 3 are fashionable, passionate, and proud.
Yep.
And my final question, she has Caribbean background from two Caribbean countries specifically that she pointed out. What are those 2 countries? Here's a hint. You can get at least to one of those two countries.
Jamaica is one.
Yes, yes, Jamaica is one. And the other one starts with a B.
Barbados.
That is correct. Jamaica
Yay!
and Barbados. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And I want to say a very, very big thank you to you, Syntyché. Very insightful presentation. And thank you for engaging with us and taking time to answer your questions, even though they took a little long to come. They came. And we are very appreciative of your answer and just you sharing your experiences with us, what the journey has been like and what we can anticipate in our own journeys as we venture out into the world of media.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I am, available for any questions at Ireson or at the Bridge 99 FM. Look me up. Let's keep the conversation going at, any mentorship needed. I am here. And I want to say thank you again to Judith Bodley for referring me. Thank you guys. All the best.